How's it going, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about some useful grenade combos and full utility belts for DE Train, since Valve has finally decided to bring it back into the active duty pool. But before we jump right in, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Skins Monkey. But what's Skins Monkey, you might ask? Well, it's an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins, and all you have to do is select the old skins that you don't want anymore and grab some new ones from the monkey. They also have a 24/7 live support system and some amazing filter and selection features. But that's not all. You could get up to a free $5 when using code TACTICS on the site. And you could also get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using that same code. So don't miss out on this offer. Go ahead and click that link down in the description and check out Skins Monkey today. Let's get back into the video. Let's get started with B site, since there are plenty of full utility belts that you can throw. To begin, there are two types of executes that I want to discuss. The first is a deeper execute that provides less concealment to the bomb train, but allows a lot more room in the post plant. And the second is a closer up execute that provides almost full concealment to the bomb train, but far less room in the post plant, which can definitely be a problem at higher elo. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with that deeper out execute. So you're going to find this beam right here in the center between these two windows. You're going to end up going right here into the middle of that and doing a run, throw, and release from the top of this post in this little inlet here all the way up to the top of the roof. You're going to do a run, throw, and release the second your crosshair hits that post. So you're going to aim right about here, and again, a run, throw, and release. And that smoke should go all the way up here. It should bank right off this position, land on the little step here, and completely smoke off both the Z and connector region. And all the way back here, it's going to smoke off this jump up, so they can't stand back here and catch an angle on you as you're running down the stairs. Now, just after you've thrown that smoke, if a teammate can drop you a second one, you go right into the same exact position and do a W jump throw at the red marks on this paper right here inside the window. And that's going to end up banking out on the side. It should hop up over the train, go down the ramp, and completely smoke off this sandwich or back sight region. And where this is useful is if they decide to drop down here and try to take a fight, well, they can't spot you as you're crossing onto site. It also takes away this back stopper region, but if they climb up on top of the first one here, they are going to be able to get a little bit of a decent angle. So I'm going to explain how to deal with that here in just a second. So altogether, if you throw both of those smokes, it's going to look something like this. You're just going to aim right about here, do a nice run, throw, and release, back on up, and do a W jump throw right here. But then what we're going to add in is from the exact same position in the dead center, from the bottom right of this windowsill down to the middle of the railing, you're going to do a nice jump throw with a flashbang. And as you can see, our smokes have landed perfectly, and this flash is landing right here to not blind your teammates at all, even if they stare at it completely until it pops. But for anyone over here on site, any of the CTs that are holding an angle like this, for example, they're getting fully blinded. So they do have plenty of time to turn from it, but you can layer up and throw multiple of these as your teammates are running out. They're not getting blinded, and the CTs are forced to either turn away and get shot in the back, or just try to fight right through it. So it's a really good setup that you can throw all from the same position. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the closer version of this execute. As I've already mentioned, this is going to leave you with a lot less space in the post plant. So you may only want to use this whenever you're on a worse buy. Maybe you have MAC 10s and you're wanting to ensure that you're getting a plant and hopefully just only taking close range engagement. So let's go ahead and talk about how to throw it. So for the first smoke, you're going to go on the right side of this window, right along the frame, and you're going to do a simple left click throw at the very top of this little V here in the wall. That should bounce right off the balcony, off the train. It's going to land right here on top of this ledge and completely smoke off this left side. As you can see, the reason we want it on that ledge is so that anyone up here is unable to spot right over it and see you as you're coming down the stairs. For example, if the smoke were to be landing in a position like this, well, they're going to be able to see you as you're running down. They're going to see your legs first and probably just completely slaughter you as you're moving down this position. Now, if you can have a teammate drop you an extra smoke in this position, right after you throw that first one, you can just move your crosshair right over here to this position alongside the edge of the wallpaper and do yet again another left click throw. And that should end up landing right here on top of this ledge on the right side. And you have a nice left and right side giant smoke that's going to allow you to get all the way down here onto site. And the only angles you're going to have to worry about are these close quarter engagements up close on site. And of course, we can throw that same flash we talked about in the last set to completely mitigate pretty much every single dangerous position as you're taking the site. Now, after I throw both of these smokes, a lot of times what I like to do is I'll just do a simple W step throw with a Molotov at the top of this post right here. Just a slight little step to where it's going to land right back here and completely molly off this sandwich region, so it completely denies this rotation. And it also will catch people off to where they have to move a little bit back. They can't just hang out right on the back of this train. It makes it where they can't climb up. It's just a very disruptive molly that's going to cause people to have to run around the back. It's a good one to just pair up if you have a leftover molly. All right, so all together, I'm gonna go into this position. I'm gonna throw the left side smoke. I'm then going to throw the right side smoke. I'm gonna take a nice little step with the molly right here for that backside Molotov. I'm then gonna go right here into the middle of this pillar. And I'm gonna do a nice and simple jump throw with a flash right here into this position for a perfect team safe flash that is not blinding my teammates at all, even if they stare at it, but it is destroying anyone out here on site. So you can just layer those up and pretty much be guaranteed a plant, but the only downside yet again is that you don't have a ton of space to work with in the post plant. All right, so I've switched on over towards CT side, and I want to talk about some nade sets you can throw for this side of the map. So if you ever want to help your A players take fights over here on the opposite side of red, one of my favorite things to do is right as I'm going around this corner, I'm just going to aim towards the lower left-hand portion of this little bracket on the bomb train. So all in one motion, I'm going to do this, nice little run jump throw. It's going to bank off this back wall, and it should land right here in the dead center, completely volleying off T main. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the fact that if the best spawn T comes running through, they can actually beat this Molotov. So you got to keep that in mind. It's just going to disrupt a full rush. It's not going to completely stop people from getting out. So that's why typically right after I throw this molly, I'm just going to bank an HE off of the gray train like this to nade anyone that's set up on the opposite side of this red train along the wall. Generally, players are going to end up tucking up along here so they're not overexposed to these two angles, which I assume most people are still calling this back 6 or Ivy, and I've been calling this camera because this used to be where a camera was back on CSGO. Now, after I throw my HE, I generally back up, and I'm going to do a jump throw with a flash at the top right of this little gap here in the bomb train. And what this is going to do is it's going to pop on the opposite side of red. It's going to allow your teammates to peek out and have a bunch of very blinded enemies, either in T main or up here towards red. I really like throwing that flash because it's also very team safe on anyone that's peeking from back 6. As you can see, it's not going to blind them as long as they're tucked up here like this. And yeah, it's just a pretty good flash overall. Your teammates can just play right off of this, swing out, and take fights. So altogether, the start of my round is generally going to look something like this, where I throw the molly, throw the HE, then I back up. Once my teammates are ready, I'm just going to flash for them to peek right on top of red, and you have a lot of enemies that you're going to be able to take fights in this very brawly setup. Now, for B site, a simple flash can devastate any of the T's dropping down from Brown Hall. At higher elos, you're going to see a much more passive approach to taking this control that usually involves just using the stairs rather than falling down and being vulnerable. So if you've been conditioning the T's to not drop down from Brown Hall, if they're taking the stairs, a great way to help your teammates take some very aggressive control and even take that long dog area is by just rounding the corner right here, and you're going to position your crosshair on this divider alongside the wall here, and you're going to line it up to where it would intersect with this white panel right here inside the window. So essentially, you're just going to go around the corner, all in one motion, do a run jump throw. That molly should go right through the glass and completely molly off the stairs, and that's going to be fast enough to prevent any of the T's from using the stairs. Now, another thing you can do is right after you throw that, you can jump up all the way up into this position, all the way here into the corner, and do a nice, simple left and right click jump throw at this little dot right here. You're then going to pull out your pistol, shoot out the glass, and guess what? This thing's going to land all the way up here, and it's going to completely smoke off this area of Brown Hall to allow your teammates to flash up all in one motion, take all this area. This is going to be molly. They're not going to be able to take any sort of fights unless they push all the way into this room. And hey, your teammates have a lot of map control early on into the round. All right, so let's wrap up by talking about A site from the T side perspective. Unlike B, unfortunately, there isn't just one spot you can throw everything from, but you're going to be able to do a little bit of moving around, and the most useful set that I have learned is by going right here onto the corner of this building and doing a simple left-click throw in between this crane and this wire. So right here out in the middle, you're going to do a nice little left-click throw in the open. That's going to bounce right off the roof here, and it should land in the middle right here, completely smoking this off, allowing you to exit out a little more safely. It's going to cut off all of these positions as you're coming out. You don't have to worry about anyone here on camera, anyone on sandwich, or anyone here on back 6. It's a perfect, nice little lurk smoke to allow your teammates to get out. Now, right after I throw that smoke, so again, it's just right here, you're just going to left click. It's very loose, very forgiving, and then I'm generally going to go all the way over into this position, and I'm going to do a simple left click throw up from this white mark all the way up here, just out into the sky. Not precise at all, and that's going to end up landing on inside of Long Dog. Since, like I just talked about, it's pretty easy for CTs to take this control and get down into here, it's a good idea to smoke that off just to allow your teammates to have a little bit more breathing room and only focus on the players out here towards bomb train and behind E-box. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. It is pretty tough to sometimes get teammates to drop you an extra smoke, but you have all this time to be like, hey, please drop me a smoke right here, drop me a smoke right here. Either one works. If they drop you one right after you throw this, you can just pick it up. And then again, you just jump right up here into this position. And the reason I like throwing it from this position is because from this spot, right, you can throw both of these, or you can throw this smoke, and right after you throw that nice little long dog smoke, you can do a simple jump throw. There are these two dark lines right here. Go into the middle of the left one, just this lighter one to the left, and do a simple jump throw. That's going to end up landing up here on top of this window, and it's going to full blind anyone playing here from E-box or back here on this position. It's pretty much your perfect flash for anyone right here. And yeah, your teammates are just going to be able to get right out and focus only on this position. So all together, one more time, it's just going to look something like this. You're going to go right here, left click throw, pick up that second smoke wherever it may be, stand here, left click here, and then do a nice little jump throw the second those end up popping. And the spacing between them isn't too terribly bad. You're then going to just do a couple of jump throws with flashes here, and boom, your teammates are getting off to the races. No problem at all. They don't have to worry about too much here and can just take fights out onto players in this region. And since most players know how to smoke off this area of camera, you can always let one of your teammates do that, and you have a nice little smoke execute to just take sight for free. Alright guys, so hopefully this video helps you out in your next CS2 train game. I know you guys have requested a lot of these full utility belts or utility combo videos, so let me know what you thought about this one and what you'd like to see next. Again, I do want to thank all of my channel members on screen right now. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do what I do every single day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.